Hello, everyone. It's been a while, and I'm back with a very, very big update to Goblins and honestly, just about everything about the deck, thanks to the new set, Lorwyn Eclipsed. I want to walk everybody through the changes to the deck, which there are so many, as you can see. And then we'll finish out the league that I'm playing here. I'm 1-0 in a league. I'll finish it. It's kind of late, so I'm not going to start a new one after that. But we'll get four matches on the channel. I want to try to record a little bit more. So many things have happened since my last video. I've got a full-time job now. I moved states. It's big life changes. I probably sound a little different because my microphone isn't set up yet in my new place. I'm actually going to bump myself down a little bit because I seem to be kind of loud. But hopefully the audio is okay for this video, and then it'll be back to normal quality next time. And I hope next time will be a lot sooner. I know I say that probably every video that I'll start recording more often, but I hope that's really true because a big reason why I haven't been more active is that Goblins has just been in this sort of morass of feel bads where there's like ideas but nothing quite worked, and format was just dominated by the same kind of thing all the time, and I just found it really tedious. But we really got some serious shakeup. And obviously, they could ban Tamiyo on February 9th. That'd be cool. I'd be happy with that. But on the subject of Tamiyo, the first edition I want to talk about is not the most hyped card of the Lorwyn set, which is this guy. This card's more unassuming, but I found it really good in the shell. Like, for a long time, I've wanted a Mog Fanatic that dealt 2 damage. I was like, that would be such a good card. This is kind of that, but often better. Sometimes worse, but it is often better. So, Mudbutton Cursetosser. I did write a whole set review before the set came out on the Patreon, so you can check that out if you want to kind of get my initial thoughts. Things have evolved since then. I think the only miss I would say in my evaluation is Boggart Cursecrafter felt like a little bit of a dud, and I sort of guessed that in the article that it might not work without a dedicated shell, and that was my experience. And I'm gonna change tack a little bit, which is how you can tell I don't script this whatsoever. I think the obvious question to answer first is what is up with the no Ether Vials, only 2 Wastelands. That seems like an obvious thing. Now, I have done Vial lists before on the channel, and I had actually said like a number of months ago that Vial is sort of on its way out, but I think this set represents like probably a permanent change away from Vial. So to explain the reasoning for Vial disappearing from the deck, really can go back and read the article on the Patreon, but the root of the argument is that the incentives of the format are too fast for Vial, right? We want to play these Ancient Tombs, not Rashadan ports, because a lot of really specifically Bombardiers, you really want to play it on turn 2 in a lot of games. And if you're playing cards ahead of your Vial curve, then the point of Vial kind of goes away, which is to let your cards have flash and be uncounterable. And the other factor is that I've really seen more recently, but I don't think I had fully locked in on before, is that the density of interaction you need to have in current Legacy is very, very, very high. Because of cards like Tamiyo, like Felia, even the control decks, quote-unquote control decks, are going to try to throw a card advantage engine at you that are other than Beanstalk, are all creature-based. They're going to try to do that on turn 1 and 2. So if you don't want to just get drowned in card advantage from the get-go, you have to have 1-mana removal or free removal. And so, when Lightning Bolt is a good card against the control decks, it's like something's weird, right? And so, even deploying Vial in turn 1 is often too slow, even in matchups where it would typically shine like Delver. Delver's gotten so fast with Quarry Steelcutter, turn 1 DRC, Bauble, or really it's turn 1 DRC, turn 2 Quarry Steelcutter, Bauble. If they get lucky on the Bauble Surveil, if they like Force of Will you, they can have Delirium on turn 2. Or if they have multiple baubles, they easily have Delirium on turn 2, and then you're taking like 6 on turn 2. And then your opponent has like repeated hasty threats on the next turn. If you just play a Vial, it just doesn't matter by the time, it'll get to 2 and you'll be at 8 life or whatever. Vial is still good against the top deck, and it's good in Vial Mirrors, like against Death and Taxes, but it also gets worse because they've printed Meteor Swords, and now Stoneforge Mystic tutors for a way to kill your Aether Vial. Felia flickers your Vial over and over again if they want to. It's just really, really hard to like have that long-term advantage of a Vial. And the other thing with Vial is that it requires you to compromise the amount of interaction you can play, because you need engine cards to make it good, right? You need Matrons and Ringleaders to put cards into your hand to then Vial them in. You need to be accumulating material. And it's basically not possible to have enough lands to cast your spells, a Vial to like have extra mana and the benefit of Vial, a card that will get you to draw extra cards so that you use all that extra mana, and have enough cheap interaction to keep up with the pace of the format. Those 4 things are all basically in conflict with each other. You can have mana and removal in Vial, but then no engine, and then you just flat out and die. You can have mana, a Vial, engine, get run over on card advantage, and your Vial gets removed and your cards get stuck in your hand. Like, the only times it really works is if you draw very few lands and your opponent doesn't answer your Vial. But all of these decks, except for Blue-Black, are really good at answering Vial. Blue-Black and Delver, they have like a Brazen Borrower. But everyone else can kill a Vial very, very easily. Like Eldrazi, like the colorless deck, kills it incidentally with their 2-mana 2/2. So that's sort of the other thing, is that Vial gives you incidental exposure to all these naturalized, effects that are just in decks sort of as a matter of course. So normally when the idea is with Vial will protect your creatures, protect your deck from certain kinds of interaction, in reality it often actually exposes you to a greater swath of interaction. Pithing Needle is now way more annoying than it otherwise would be. Disruptor Flute, same kind of deal. So, by cutting Vials, you seem to actually be less vulnerable. Now, the part of the way this is possible to work and not just ruin your Delver matchup is this new card, which is Hexing Squelcher. So, 2-mana 2/2. It can't be countered. Suppose you control can't be countered. That's spells, not just goblins. Ward, pay 2 life. Other creatures have ward, pay 2 life. And the ward stacks. So this is a a permanent counter Cavern of Souls for every spell you play. It's not like it's not like Cavern where your best spell resolves, but then your second spell gets dazed or whatever. This is everything's uncounterable as long as it's in play. Obviously, they're going to try to kill it, but that's why you play 4, and they're going to take 2 life. Or 4 life if you got 2 of them, and that damage really does add up. And then it's a 2/2. Like, this card it's really good against Bowmasters. They want to, you just get that incidental chip damage, which really adds up in a deck like Goblins. So Hexing Squelcher was like the immediate hell yeah, this is an excellent new Goblin. We really wanted a good 2-drop. It's easy to cast. It has 2 toughness. It has 2 power. It has an insanely good ability. Let's do it. So that's the most exciting thing on its face. Reduces the necessity for Vial in terms of wanting that sort of anti-counterspell function actually does it probably better. So Mudbutton is interesting for a couple reasons. The biggest thing is the fact that it's 1 mana. Like if you wanted to cut either while, your options were pretty slim on cards that wouldn't mess your curve up. We've been really starving for good 1-drops. And Mudbutton's awesome both because it is 1 mana and it makes a 1-drop that we already play, Skirk Prospector, substantially better. Mudbutton and Skirk are excellent together. And let me just talk about some curves that are pretty powerful in the deck. So you want to play your Cursetosser on turn 1. Most decks are going to play a creature on turn 1 these days, unless it's combo. And then you can go, and basically every turn 1 creature will die to a Cursetosser. The only exception being, I don't even know, like a Dark Ritual out thing. If you're on the draw against Delver, it might not kill a very quick flipped DRC or Delver. That is sort of a problem with the card. Is that it's 1 mana removal that isn't particularly great versus Delver. But anyway, you play anything else. And importantly, Tannio, right? So you play Cursetosser, they play Tannio. You can then play Prospector, sack Cursetosser, make the red, kill the Tannio, and then cast a 2-drop. Or if you have a Ancient Tomb, which this list has 3, you can then cast Matron. You could get Muxus potentially if it's you want like a really big threat immediately, and then it's like, okay, you have to kill my Bowmasters, or you have to kill my Prospector or Wasteland me, or else I have a turn 3 Muxus. So this Mudbutton plus Skirk is a ramp. It's like ramp that also interacts with the opponent, and that's a really potent combination. It's obviously very strong with Bombardiers. Turn 1 Cursetosser, turn 2 Tomb Bombardiers, kill 2 things. That's like one of these ways that we really need to break serve. Goblins has a lot of problems, especially the bio lists, of winning on the draw. You just start so far behind when you play turn Vial on the draw, and you don't have 1 mana removal in your deck. You're just, you need, at that point, you need 1-drop plus Munitions Expert, but even that doesn't kill all the 3 toughness things that are in the format that are very quick. And, if they have a removal spell for the Lackey, then it might not kill 2 toughness thing. And that, could be really bad. So playing this offense-defense role, despite the fact that the card can't block, it's removal that really thrives with our sack outlets. So want to play these. I started with 2, and I moved up to 3, and I was like, all right, we're cutting Vial. Let's play 3 Skirk Prospectors, because they're really good with Cursetosers, and I want more mana accelerants, because I just cut mana accelerant of a different kind. And then both sort of round out the interaction. So compared to, 0 1 mana, I've been playing I've been playing some Lightning Bolts and normal Goblins anyway, but so we'll say traditionally, I have maybe 2 1 mana answers to Tannio. Now I have 5. Yes, Cursetosser is a little conditional, but that condition is not that hard to meet, especially in this list where I've got these 2 Bowmasters here. Turn 1 Cursetosser, turn 2 Bowmasters, my own guy. Kill your thing, have 2 bodies on board still. That's a play I'm totally willing to make. So you've got this nice package here in the beginning. We've got Hexing Squelcher to make our Bowmasters uncounterable. This puts your opponent in a little bit of a bind, which is, I think, interesting. Is the idea? It's like, well, once you cast Squelcher, it's always going to resolve. A lot of opponents are going to want to brainstorm away their Forcibles and Dazes, right? Because they know it's like, oh, this person has Cavern of Souls, and they've got Hexing Squelcher. Maybe I have the removal for the Squelcher. Maybe I have the Wasteland for the Cavern, but not both. So they're going to brainstorm away Forces and Dazes. And that's when you hit them with the Bowmasters. And it's like, okay, here's uncounterable Bowmasters in response to your brainstorm. That's, that you need, then are you going to take 2 damage to kill on top of the ping and the army sticking around? So that's a lot of free damage. we'll see. The mana base can support it now because I've made these pretty big adjustments to the mana base. I'll talk about that a little bit more with only 2 Wastelands. But black spells are definitely like fully on the table now, and I'm pretty optimistic about it. I haven't played this specific list more than 1 match yet, but I've played 2 leagues of like other builds that led me to this. The rest of the list, we've got 3 1-ofs of the new cards. We've got 1 Taster of Wares, which is a very funny kind of ravenous rats that can scale up into a way better Thoughtseize. It's pretty effective. It's a little slow. Obviously the tombs help with that. It can feel like a little bit. It's like you just play it for like X equals 1 or 2. Your opponent just gives you like their worst cards. But it's really good at grinding people down, right? You're always getting something. And if you do get that instant or sorcery that you want when you cast it for like 4 or 5 goblins in play, then it's like a 3 for 1. So that's really powerful. And then I think it's nice that against combo decks, you Lackey in that Muxus, maybe you hit the Taster or you Mation for it and then cast it. That's a really powerful way to sort of guarantee that you get to cross the finish line next turn. You take their best card unless they redraw that same card. They probably can't kill you. It's really good against show and tell. Just put it in off the show and tell. If you got a board already, you can take specifically Omnitel. You take whatever thing that the Atraxa that they were going to cast out through that, or the Emberpool that they're going to put in after the Omniscience. Lots of utility against combo, but also shouldn't be underestimated as basically a supercharged Ravenous Rats against fair decks. So I do like Taster quite a bit, and 3-2 body is pretty good. I've been happy with that. Grub looked really bad to me on first glance, and then you look at it a little more and realize like 90% of the card's rate is in the ETB. So 2 and a black for a 2/1 menace that when it enters you pick up a goblin from the graveyard, and then you can flip it if you pay red in your first main phase. And the flip has this weird sort of, when it attacks, you can blight 1, which is put a -1/-1 counter on one of your guys. If you do, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of the blighted creature, except that it dies on the turn. Annoyingly, it's not good with Bombardiers, because if you blight your Bombardiers and then copy it, the copy doesn't count as attacking. It doesn't count as having attacked because it comes in attacking. So you can't activate Boast on the Bombardier's copy, which is an important thing to know. But it's a way you can recycle an enters the battlefield ability from a Munitions Expert or a Matron, or Sling-Gang or Muxus, or especially it's probably best with Ringleader. That's a really nice way to just like draw a whole ton of cards. But the flip is, I think a relatively less important version of the effect. The real power is just like, it's sort of, late game, it's a sort of basically a 5th Matron that's like a little bit better. I did have a game against Painter where I got to like Taster, take a card, and then Grub flipped and copied Taster and took another card, and that was pretty cool. That was pretty good. And then finally, Grub's Command. This is expensive, but again, now that there's no vials, and we have these 3 Prospectors, 3 Tombs, 5 mana looks a little less expensive, and Hexing Squelcher, so it's less likely to get dazed or forced. And it's just a very powerful effect. One mode is essentially better than Ringleader, and then it can be a copy, which is obviously quite good with Bombardiers, Ringleader, Matron, Expert. The Anthem is probably the least relevant mode, but has come up. And then it's destroy target artifact or creature, and then this Ringleader, but looks at 5 cards, and I think that's pretty powerful. I think most commonly it's either going to win the game with a copy plus Anthem, or you're more behind and you want to go like kill your big thing, cast a Ringleader. And I do think the fact that it's unconditional removal, that's just destroy target creature, means that in your late game situations against the blue decks, this means that that Murktide region that showed up on turn 6 isn't just winning the game because you just can't kill it because it's an 8/8 or whatever. Having just destroy target creature is a valuable asset, I think. And we got 2 Muxus to still go with our lackeys. So that's sort of where I'm at with the deck, and then the thing with the mana base that I'll talk about is in order to fit in enough black sources and still play 3 Ancient Tombs, you basically have to cut down on Wastelands. And when I think about the metagame, there are pretty few decks that I actually want to Wasteland. Like even Eldrazi, I've really found that I don't want to Wasteland that badly because their spells are actually quite cheap. You're basically only ever Wastelanding them. You should be Wastelanding them less unless you're just trying to keep them off of casting anything, which is unlikely to work because their deck is like 50% mana sources. Literally, it's 25 lands for Lotus Petals. And then, or if like you're trying to shrink a Coslex command to like not be able to kill Bombardiers, that's like another relevant use case. And then other than that, Show and Tell, you want your Wastelands. Urza Saga decks, you want Wasteland. But, blue-black, you never want to Wasteland them. You'd rather have colored mana against, or Ancient Tomb. Against blue-red, don't really want to Wasteland them. Against D&T, you don't want to Wasteland them, usually, unless you can Shatter a Vial very early, which this list can't do. Without Vials to break the symmetry on Wasteland, this deck really just wants its mana in play. Sideboard changes. I got these Chalices back, which I really love because it helps Hexing Squelcher break symmetry on Chalices Blade, right? So it's like tails, you lose, heads I win. Like it's all your spells are countered, none of my spells are countered, even with my own Chalice. So I can cast Red Elemental Blast and Lightning Bolt through my own Chalice on 1. I think that's awesome. I think that's really powerful. That's really going to help out against Doomsday, Delver, Blue-Black. I think that's just genuinely very, very powerful. It'll come up against Storm, where their bounce spell is 1 mana. That's definitely happened to me in the past, where they Chain of Vapored. Or rather, they've Echoing Truthed my Chalice on 1, and I was staring at a red in my hand, and that can break through that situation. I got a Chainwhirler in here because there's a lot of energy decks. The Mardu or Red-White energy. Chainwhirler is excellent against them. It's good against Eldrazi. It's good against Affinity with the Pinnacle Emissaries and wipe up all the tokens. It's good against Black-Green Cradle because of Sylvan Safekeeper. And they just play a lot of Mana Dorks. I think Chainwhirler is just really well positioned. And then Trashmaster. Trashmaster, probably the most card in the sideboard. I'm just sort of trying it out because it is very good with Cursetosser. I wanted something that's a little bit more, robust. I was playing Braid in that slot, which is obviously going to be better against Delver because, I'm not going to board in Trashmaster against Delver for Steel Cutter, but I will board it in a Braid because it obviously kills Delver and DRC and it's just 2 mana cheaper. So that's the state of the deck. I'm really optimistic about what this set offers us. Like this is, this could be like as big a set for Goblins as like Onslaught Block was. This is so many playables all at once and totally, reorganizing the incentives of the deck. I think that's pretty awesome. So let's play a match here. Enough yapping. It's like 30 minutes of yapping. 25 minutes of yapping. Alrighty, here we go. We're on the play. Love to see it. Yeah, okay. This basic swamp's a little sketchy, but we'll see if we get Troy and Tamiyoed, and then I stare at 3 1-mana rule spells, neither of which exactly operate right now, which is really funny, honestly. Funny in like a ha-ha sad way. Okay, we're not getting Tamiyoed. I would like to draw a basic mountain. Grist. All right. Okay. We're good against that. Oh, baby. Talking about Skirk Prospector, huh? How do I want to play this? Unfortunately, 1 mana short of like Skirk, Mudbutton, Cast Matron, put in Muxus. But I think we can build towards that. I think my opponent's going to block. And it might just be better. Yeah, I think it's just better to let them block. Because then I can actually do the Muxus play next turn. While killing a blocker. Or two blockers. Probably a white. Yep. Alright, that makes it easy. Muxus. Bam. Hit you for 4. Skirk Prospector pretty good, huh? Yep, those are good. Those are really good. Alright, Foda is insanely dead next turn. I do not think Grist the Hunger Tide gets you out of this one. Alright, sort of embarrassment of riches, but... yeah. Lots of ways to end that game. Alright. I think we want definitely these 3, maybe Flute on white. This is not a very interactive matchup, and they don't have counterspells, so they do probably have Snuff Outs, which Squelcher is kind of nice against. Just like pay 6 life to kill a thing is really painful. But I am comfortable cutting Squelchers a bit. Bowmasters are fine. Flute or no flute versus the 4th Squelcher. I think since they're playing Grist, I think a flute would probably be nice to have. I think I'll just run this. I think this looks good. Okay. It's a little bit one-dimensional. You know, Lackey, Pyro, and Prey. Bad versus Snuff Out and Thoughtseize, but I think we keep those hands. And if we draw lands, it's just good. We do have 23 of them. So we're kind of like a coin flip to draw out fine. Even if the Lackey Pyro thing doesn't work out. Fiend Artisan, haven't seen that in a while. Ignoble. Greenstone, okay. Ancient Tomb is probably my best draw. So I'm very likely Kinesis pitching Battle Cry, cast Bombardiers, put in Sling-Gang. Okay. That's a little scary. So this will tap for 4. Taps for 2 right now. I might want a Pyro right here. Because that takes them from 4 mana to 1. I think that's correct. I'm sort of betting on drawing a black source by pitching my Battle Cry rather than Expert. I have a decent number of black sources. Okay. That's actually better than playing Bombardiers here. So we get to reset the Cradle. Put in Sling-Gang. Now if they play white next turn, I can Bombardiers, sacking Expert, kill it. And they're pretty close to dead after that. Good draw is drawing land. Okay. Alright, I think this one's over. Grub is actually so sick here. So now we attack all, throw Munitions Expert. Actually, I think I probably could have killed him, actually. If I just let them block Lackey. Took 5. That's whatever. They're so dead. Alright, well that was an extremely strong showing. Love to see it. That makes me happy. Alright, we're here for round 3. Got a no-lander. No black source. It's really awkward, this hand. I only got 2 basic mountains. There are only 2 non-red-black lands in my deck. And I drew both of them. Oh. I think I have to mulligan this because of that, which is a real shame. Because it would otherwise be pretty good. Just put back the Sling-Gang and we can operate pretty well, but I will go to 5. Okay. Put back Command, put back Tosser. Yeah, I think so. Uh-oh. Okay. Memory. Okay. Let's draw Cavern of Souls. not bad either. Turn 1 Emery plus Pinnacle plus Force is pretty strong opener. Alright. Okay. So cool thing about Hexing Squelcher is that it makes your spells ignore ward. Alright, so out of cards, but they'll draw 2. I'm going to kill this Emery with the Lackey, Bombardiers, unless they draw a Force blue card. That seems extremely unlikely. It's not a bad draw. Yeah, like I could expert this Emery rather than Bombardiers it and keep my Lackey, which might hold back the Patchwork. That's possible. Upside of Bombardiers sack Lackey is that next turn, if this only gets +1/+1, I could then kill it. I could like kill this and then sack this to Bombardiers to kill the Patchwork, which would be very good. Kind of a tough call. If I draw land, I can do that anyway. I kind of like Expert here. This puts me a little bit more behind the race, but I don't take Ancient Tomb damage, so it might even out. Another Emery? No, this guy. More baubles. I just said in Discord that Mishra's Bauble is the enemy. It is. I hate Mishra's Bauble. I hate all baubles. Am I blocking? Jeez. What a hand. Okay, I guess my plan now is, so I take 8. So, okay, I need to draw Muxus, or maybe a Sling-Gang. I can kill this. These tokens can't block, so. Oh, that's so close to Muxus, but you're not Muxus. Oh, I die. I die if I sack them. Munitions Expert. Don't think I have a viable route to victory. If I chunk block Patchwork and then I go to 2 and then I can't tap 2, I think I'm dead. Okay. They had Forcible. That's kind of what it came down to. We have a really good sideboard for this matchup. Do I want Pyros? Maybe. Flute? Maybe. Cursetosser kills Emery, but not that much else. I think you could probably cut one. I'm going to put Chalice on 0. Battle Cry is not that good in this matchup. Maybe we cut Cursetossers entirely to make room here. Three more cuts is tough. guess I have to cut a Ringleader. And 1 Prospector. And I want to keep the command. It's a Shatter. Oh, Taster's probably not very good in this matchup. Let's try this. Nope. Okay. This has some key cards. Squelcher's one of them. Do I keep Bowmasters? Do I keep Bowmasters? Bowmasters or Matron, I feel like is the decision. They don't play as much card draw, and I feel like I want to build towards a Muxus. So I think the Matron's better. Obviously I want to draw land, but Saga's annoying. Okay. Man, Chalice on 0 would have just bricked their entire hand. Throw in Kappa. A Dismember. Sure. Pretty happy with that exchange. So it is important that this Saga can probably get Pithy Needle. Necessary. There's a lot of... Man, Chalice on 0 would just completely soloed this game. Okay. Alright, so their plan is giant constructs. Just absolutely enormous constructs. Grub is not bad. Ooh, should I have... So I can make Muxus over the course of 2 turns, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late, because they're going to have like 12/12s or something. So I think I kind of lose to Pithy Needle, no matter what. I could get Grub's Command, and also that's a 2-turn thing. Man, really wish I had that Chalice. It's a bummer because I feel like this matchup should be really good on paper because of Squelcher just bricks every bit of interaction they have. I could get Chainwhirler and clear up these guys, but that doesn't really help with the giant constructs. If I get Trashmaster, that forces them to like use that rather than like get a Shadow Spear. I can chump block for a little bit if they get a Shadow Spear. Like I can block Matron, pick up Matron. I think that's probably the line actually. If I can force them to pick up Pithy Needle, that'll be useful. I wonder if since there's no Vial in the deck, like a Meltdown might be not amiss. Boots. Okay. Block here. Draw land. That's the wrong land. But potentially okay. We're going to lose our Squelcher, but that's okay. We might climb out of this. Little block sack action. Take 2. Grub. Get Sling-Gang Expert a flyer. Go to 1. Play this thing. Yeah. It itself doesn't have flying. We can pay the ward. Right, ward 1. Take 2. Oh, do you have a Hydroblast? What the heck is this? Okay. My Kingdom for Mog War Marshal. Wow, that's an insane last thing to have. Yeah, 4 paddle effects is a lot. 4 paddle effects is a lot. Chainwhirler would win this game. I think I'm dead. I think I'm dead. It's close, but I'm dead. Yeah, just the extra flyer. The extra flyer is really what gets me. Because I'd be able to go Expert Grub, pick up. At this point, it has to be. Well, Grub, pick up Prospector. I don't have time for anything else. I mean, let's see what happens. I think I'm dead no matter what I do. But and then if I kill this, I have to shatter every one of the flyers, and then I have no way to win. I think I have no way to win. Okay. I can live for a turn, but then I sack my whole board. Ah! Alright. Alright. Kind of surprised. Kind of surprised. I think... I mean, I've played against that deck very, very little, so I don't really have a sense of what its range is at all. Like, obviously I have past experience against 8 casts, but this affinity deck is more aggressive, so maybe... I don't know. Pyrokinesis would have been good. Pyrokinesis definitely would have been good. Got by Urza Saga. That's definitely a price of only 2 Wastelands. Obviously, like yeah, a single Wasteland just sort of wins the game, right? They just make a couple of tokens and then a late patchwork, and that's it. They were really all in on that one thing. It's a pretty cool hand. Little bit of a tough call of Badlands or Mountain. We'll see what we are facing. Pretty good shot in going Matron into, or Skirk Lackey into Matron for Skirk. Island. Damn you, my favorite card to play against. Ooh, that's pretty good. Most, but not all Tamiya decks are Wasteland decks. Um, There's a legitimate argument to playing Cursetosser here. It's a hell of a lot better if they have a Bowmasters, not a Brainstorm. Lackey loses to Brainstorm and Bowmasters. Lackey's obviously the best if they don't have either. I'm going to play Cursetosser. And I will reveal a Matron, because I'm probably playing it next turn anyway. I'm supposed to reveal Lackey because it is probably the least relevant card. It's not like they're playing Cabal Therapy though, so I don't think it's a huge difference. Brainstorm, yep, okay. Glad I made the play I did. Feel pretty strongly this shouldn't be legal whatsoever. Yeah, there's the Wasteland. Okay, mountain's good. But alright, at least we get to put a little bit of damage on this thing. And this Lackey sucks, but it will sacrifice to Skirk Prospector. I'm so happy you dazed that. Holy shit. That Lackey could not be any worse. So I'm probably going to Matron Battle Cry Goblin now. Or maybe Skirk? Or Bombardiers? Skirk would let me Muxus, but in run into days would be bad. I am sort of building my mana naturally, so I think I am going to get Bombardiers. Second Wasteland. Second Tabio. Oh my god, fuck this card. So stupid. Ooh, that's good. That's really good. Let's see if you get the block. So this plus this to 8. Next turn, we can attack it for... We can attack for free next turn, and they can't daze me. Or force me, so... Huh? Okay. Mikey, your time is not now. It's like push plus another daze. Oh, no. I think we're gonna kill Tamio. Put it to 1, maybe. Right. 2 plus 5. Yeah. This card says gain 15 life, is what it actually says. Okay. So this pluses to 8 again. I'm kind of tempted to just, like, I can throw this, deal 3 to Tameo, and then kill this one. So this will be down to 3 plus to 5. I can still kill it through a Bowmasters. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So target this, fling this, kill that. That's a pretty good. 1 for 1ing Tameo like that is just normally quite hard. Consider, is this Doomsday? It is Doomsday. All this time it was Doomsday. That's hilarious. Sling-Gang's good. Yeah, okay. Let's throw these. We'll throw Matron. Get you for 2. Should be able to kill next turn. Opponent needs to Doomsday 1 turn kill me. Okay. Scary. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So they need another cantrip. And like LED in their deck, which not all these Wasteland, tempo Doomsday decks. Not all of them play it. Consider probably means I'm dead. I guess probably. I think you only put consider LED. All right, you got an LED. There's 1 Lotus Petal. I think I'm dead. Wasteland. Man, what a egregious pile. Yep. Man. So they brainstormed in the nuts there. They didn't have it, or else they would have killed me last turn. So brainstorm probably hit all 3 of those. Probably hit Ritual Doomsday. I mean, it could hit 1. It's not necessarily true, but probably hit 2 out of 3. Man, what a way to lose after all that. All right, well, we get the full deck list at least. Talk about Tameo being nonsense, though. It's like there would be 500 years dead just from combat damage if it didn't gain a quadrillion life. All right. Cards were good, though. Cards were good. All right, we want these. Do I want Mindbreak Trap against them? I might still. Probably do. Grub's Command is really funny against Doomsday because you can target them and it kills them. And I'll also keep it in because they're going to have, Murktides in their deck. Don't need Ringleader. But now I'm in the problem of all my cards are good. Obviously, normally you cut Experts. I might still cut Experts. I like the Bowmasters. I like the Prospectors. I like the Cursetossers. I like everything cheap. Can cut Grub. Probably can cut Boggart. It's getting real tricky here. I'll cut 1 Skirk. I like Skirk a lot against Doomsday. I'll cut 1 Cursetossor. Get 2 more cuts after that. It's getting real A little tricky. I like Battle Cry a lot. If this wasn't Doomsday, I'd be cutting Lackeys, but, you know. Lackey is really good when they're playing as like Dark Ritual Barrowwife. Lackey's very, very good against that. I guess I have to cut a Skirk, and then, I don't know, like a Matron, a Bowmasters. Do one Expert, one Bombardiers, one Sling-Gang. Maybe it's just the Grubs command, but I might regret that. Just because it's the most expensive card. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. And I can't believe people are playing like 4 Wastelands in their Doomsday decks. Seems like such a weird thing to do. Whoa. Okay. I think I'm just matroning Muxus. I'm sending it. Hopefully I hit a Skirk or a Taster. To protect me from one turn kill. Okay, does that do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They'll go to 8, so they can't cycle Street Wraith and they can't fetch. Okay. If I use Sling-Gang now, it rounds down to, so they're at 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think this nets a damage because it rounds down, right? If they just kill me here, I'll be annoyed. This deck, you know, the Tamiya Wasteland Bowmasters Murktide deck just fully kills you on turn 2. Be kind of obnoxious. But there's only one Edge of Autumn, one Street Wraith. If there's not 2 Edge of Autumns, I'm not sure they can get through their pile without dying to Sling-Gang. Right, because I have 6 guys, and they're going to 8. Yeah. Yeah, so they can't Street Wraith. And they can't pass the turn, obviously. There's the Street Wraith. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So there's 2 Street Wraiths. Do I do this now? Plays around Stifle. I don't think they have sideboard Stifles. Let's check the deck list real quick. All right. They died because they fetched, which is kind of crazy. Nice. Nice. Whew. Alright, so they sideboarded in Long Goodbye. Tamiyo. They had 2 Tamiyos in hand? That doesn't really make sense, so why would they play it on turn 1? Barrowglyphs, sort of expected. No Murktides. No no, there's two Murktides. No Bowmasters. No forces. No. So they probably force. So they force. My hand is somehow 2 Tamios, 2 Force of Wills. Don't understand. Okay. Obviously, if they're gonna play it that way, I wanted Skirk very badly there. It's also good against Barrowglyph, kind of. It's just not, Mudbutton. We have 6 other Tamio answers. Mudbutton can be the 7th. That's also a Goblin. It's obviously going to be worse on the draw too. Bowmasters is good. I'm just debating command for Barrowglyph. I should have screen capped their post-board deck, but let's do this. Okay. Well, it's a little dangerous. That's pretty good. I think I do play Cavern here. If I get, removal spell plus Wastelanded, I'll be a little sad. But I get to do, put in Squelcher and then cast Uncounterable Bowmasters. I think that seems quite good. Mill Brainstorm. What did I say? What did I say? Alright. I don't think I have the luxury of playing around a second Wasteland because I need black for 2 cards. So let's get the Skirk. Also, fetching black, I think, sort of signals strength a little bit. Gonna pretend I Power Blast for a second. Okay. Let's attack first. Okay, we're at 18. Bombardiers represents a lot of damage next turn. So that might be the most directly good thing against a Doomsday. Playing around days would also be nice. Unless I sack my Skirk, that doesn't really work out. I could main phase Bowmasters, but then I don't have access to Bolt. That seems bad. So go down to 9. Bolt alone won't count as interaction. I really want to get a Squelcher in play. I think I should get Squelcher in play. Could cost me big time. For sure. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. My card is bullshit. Like a lot of your cards. Doomsday. Okay, good at 8. Next turn I can do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is not 8, unfortunately. But they have to draw through their pile, so. Bowmasters plus Bolt might just be good enough. It probably is. So unless they have the Cycler Brainstorm, Cycler Petal Brainstorm, I think I should be good here. Alright, there's no LED. I think I'm good. Ooh. That makes it more simple. Uncounterable Bombardiers. Skadoosh. Wow. All right. That was a pretty good game for Hexing Squelcher, huh? If they'd kept the force, didn't force for no reason, and then they played Murktide, I guess they just lose because then I draw Bombardiers and I just attack them, and I'm winning that race very handily. All right, we're looking to 4-1 here. Sideboard mapping didn't seem great against Doomsday. I do think, against Tempo Doomsday, in theory, I think I would want Grub's Command. But maybe not with Wastelands. Maybe it actually is better against the Tempo version. Or the Turbo version. Because I did actually test against Doomsday. My friend Jared just kind of dedicated on the matchup. And the Grub's Command, I did actually Matron for it. Because it was like, this is the way that I force you to kill me in one turn. And I had a Reb. So just the combination of like Reb, Skirk, Matron meant that he was sort of checkmated. Because he could neither kill me in one turn nor could he pass the turn without dying. This is a very classic Goblin's hand. I would like to surveil. So I'm actually going to lead on Cavern, even though I don't like doing that. Eldrazi. Stock up. My hand's not good against that. This is blue. Wait, no, what is this? This is show and tell? Kind of has to be show and tell, right? Let's draw Lackey. Lackey's best draw. Or Muxus. Bowmasters is not bad. Am I surveilling ever here? Or am I playing Bowmasters? I don't think I'm surveilling. If I get a turn here, I think I'm okay. If they show and tell this turn, I'm probably dead. Cast another stock up. Shit. Alright, let's see what happens. Probably Omniscience and I'm dead. Yep. Don't think it matters. What I do. If they miraculously don't have to kill, do I have anything that kills them next turn? Bombardiers would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 5/6 +5. Not quite. Sling-Gang, also not quite. I guess I'll get it because like it doesn't. I'm just not gonna think too hard about it. Maybe the Bowmasters really messes them up. I feel great about this matchup post. Like, I mean, I feel good about it pre-board, but post-board should be really good too. What you waiting on? Tank. Cast the card that wins the game. Okay. Good to see Cutting Mush, though. That makes Mindbreak Trap a lot better. Just want to see if the track set will show me more of the deck. Okay, I guess not. Alrighty. I did cut a Flute, which is one of the better cards in the matchup. Mudbutton's Pressure. Do I want any Chalices? It's a little better against Omni. Just because they need speed. I don't have any I only have 2 Wastelands, which is bad. What is my record? I hate when people ask me that. Because you know it ends up with the will you concede to me question if you win. And it's like just play the game. Do I want to keep in Grub for any reason? I guess it's probably fine. It's better than other cards. Maybe Trashmaster's better. Probably not. Yeah, I like this a lot. Turn 2 Uncounterable Flute. I guess I'll answer. Okay. It's a genuine question. It's 5 power versus 4. I'm gonna play the Lackey just because it makes Matron better as a top deck. Matron Ringleader. And they're probably gonna Surveil here, and then I'll flash in the Flute. Name, show, and tell. Oh. But it is way cooler than I gave him credit for. Nope, can't be countered. Can't be countered. That right there, that's Squelcher value. It's pretty good. Alright, so they're at 12. So if I throw Lackey, they're at 9. They're dead next turn. So unless they have some combination of Ancient Tomb and a million Lotus Petals, I think we got this locked up. And then Omniscience kill you. Yep. That was a game brought to you by Hexing Squelcher. Like Cavern Lackey into Squelcher. Now, none of my goblins are counterable. None of my interaction is counterable either. That is such a potent thing. I don't know if I saw anything that made me want to change stuff. I think Grub is a little medium. The flip could come up in the matchup. The flip could come up. I think I'll keep it just off of that. It's not a very exciting hand, but I think it has... It's like the bare minimum. It beats turn 2 show and tell. Provides a little bit of pressure. Okay, third land's not bad. So if I draw a Squelcher next turn, I think that's ideal because then I have uncounterable Reb off of Skirk. Okay, no Ancient Tomb. Okay. Mill Ancient Tomb. Okay. This is, yeah, kind of a weak turn 2, for sure. Next, we can, if we don't have to rev here, which we probably do, we can Matron Muxus and threaten it next turn. I don't know. Maybe this is a mull. It's not the best hand for sure. I'm giving them a lot of time. Yeah, makes sense. Nope, don't want to see that. I should have got Badlands because Bowmasters doesn't matter. Okay. Taster would be a very good draw. If I got another turn. pitch Omni. Okay. Maybe this is just Emrakul. Atraxa. Okay. Yeah, I think we're just Muxusing. $15. Bombardiers would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not quite. Consign is an insane pickup here. Consign plus. So I need to draw a Reb. I need to draw a Reb for the Atraxa. Oh, that's a very good hand, opponent. Atraxa Intuition. Oh, they don't. Wait, they don't take the Consign? Maybe you have another Consign. Ancient Tomb? That's pretty good. Okay. So Atraxa, Intuition, Scalding Tarn, Shot, Top, Pelvis, Pull. So bam, bam, bam. So, alright, so I know 4 of 5 cards. Send it. Come on. Come on. Alright, well, I guess I'm dead. Probably. Yeah, that's about as bad as Muxus hits get. Like if those Bowmasters were Goblins, I'm not even sure what they would be here. Like Mob War Marshals, I guess. But they can Intuition for Omniscience here. Or they pitched an Omniscience. Let's see what happens. I guess if they play 4 Omniscience, then I'm dead. They probably do play 4 Omniscience. Yeah. Yeah. Man, rough to lose my best combo matchup. I mean, kind of came down to... I kept a mediocre... Wow, just still not very good. Alright, so now Atraxa needs to fully brick. Which is very unlikely. Yeah. That's kind of a brick. You get 1 stock up. You get 1 stock up and a Force of Will. And there's a fetch in there too. Oh, come on. What's my next draw? Jeez. Double Bombardiers would actually would have won next turn. needed... I mean, I just needed one more piece of interaction for Muxus to not be bad. Still, alright, so we got the 3-2. Lost close against combo, and then got kind of killed by Affinity, which I think is not where I want to be. I want to have a very good Affinity matchup. Just didn't really... I mean, they had... Those Saga tokens were just gigantic. Like, this just turn 1 Saga, and they made 2 10-10s. Because they drew, like, 8 0-mana artifacts. The list was pretty good, though. We did really well against the Cradle deck. And I beat lands off screen. I guess I'll play one final match. Oh, and we beat... The Doomsday match was close. That was a nice win. How sold am I on these Bowmasters? Not that sold. What would I rather them be? Could be like 3rd Bolt, 4th Bombardiers. Split the difference on the curve. I like the idea of Bowmasters a lot. Hordemaster could be interesting. Good with Mudbutton, good with Skirk. Didn't get to cast the command, which is a bummer. We didn't cast any of these cards in the league, which is funny. In the off-stream, off-video, off-camera, that's the term I'm looking for, match against lands, I did hit a Tabernacle with Taster, which was sick. Could do this, just make it simple. Good play 60, just do that. Is Battle Cry always what I want? Battle Cry is pretty good. Might make the dex side like map out a little bit better. I'm emphasizing keeping 2-drops because I think the turn 1 Mudbutton, turn 2 Skirk, sack it, cast a 2-drop thing. I think that's pretty important. We're saying if the turn 1, game 3 of Show and Tell was turn 2 Squelcher, win the game. Can't force my red. Maybe I should have just mulligan just because, like, I do have much better hands. Like, that was a mediocre 7. Maybe keeping a mediocre 7 on the draw is just bad. Decision making. I kind of wish I could get this Chainwhirler into the main so that I could play another Chalice in the sideboard. Or maybe this, or the second Flute again. I mean, could just do that. I really like breaking the Chalice symmetry, and it would be so nice against Affinity. And then against Delver, I get to side like this, and maybe have Kinesis on the draw. Don't mind that. I think Chainwhirler is main deckable. We've got enough red sources to support it. Got 17 and 3 Skirks. I don't think that's really a problem. Let's play a match like that. Just one match. I gotta go to bed soon. Alright, finally have an opponent here. It's a long queue. This hand's okay. Double tune's a little awkward. We'll have good mana with Swamp at least. That's fine. Kind of depends on whether or not it's like Munitions Expert for one does anything. I think this is a mountain. Okay. This is Painter. Hopefully it's not fucking Ruby Storm. Skirk Prospector. Pretty good. Probably should have played Fetch Badlands here. But, I mean, I'm not going to go Tomb. I guess if I drew Taster, I might go Tomb Exile Simian Spirit Guide. Okay, cool. This Bolt seems really good. How about that? Bolt, yeah. Okay. I like my position now. Why'd they crack that off Spirit Guide? That's so, like, unhinged. Oh, that's a good draw. Let's get... I mean, I just get Muxus, right? Just cast it next turn. I'm gonna bolt this. If they kill my Prospector, I bring it back. I mean, I don't even need to do that. Okay. It's like ever so slightly dangerous to Muxus here. Get a Spirit Guide Blast, or if like I hit nothing and then I get Grindstone. Got 2 Bombardiers, 2 Experts, 2 more Skirks, and a Cursed will kill this. The safe line is just Bombardiers, and then Muxus next turn. Kind of boring. Kind of boring. Might be better. All right, this is called playing for content. This is playing for content right now. I think in a tournament setting, you do play the Bombardiers and Surveil. Be disciplined. But... all right, cool. It all worked out. Did I miss lethal? Maybe. Doesn't matter. Okay. Now this is a matchup I could board and jowl someone to abuse the asymmetry, but I think I don't need to do that. Battle Cry is generally the weak link in this matchup. Goblin Lackey. Everybody else seems good. Hey, I'll trim a Squelcher. Even though it's quite good against Fury. Take 4 to Fury me, or take 6 is a lot. But Lackey, kill your thing, put in Muxus is kind of a core victory condition. I guess they can't be counter clause. Will does come up against Painter Pyroblast. Which I do find myself like more vulnerable to than I would like. But to be fair, most of the time it's the destroy mode more than the counter mode. It's like a tomb, mountain go, then tomb, painter, hold up blast, pyroblast to your bombardiers. That's usually what gets me. Okay, well, this hand's bad against Urza Saga, and it doesn't do anything for a little while, but it's really good at not dying, so I'm going to keep it. Thinking about their land drop is always scary for me. Okay, land go. Alright, surveil into a land, please. Ringleader is the opposite of a land. If we miss land for a turn, it's okay. If we miss land for 2 turns, we probably lose. But these are the risks you take. Mountain, mountain. Okay. Sure. What are you getting? Snaring bridge. Okay, I don't care about that at all. Well, now I guess I'm just gonna bolt because I don't want to go to discard. That sucks though. And that card's gonna kill me. Constructs don't get that big, but it's enough. Okay. Alright, let's draw land. They have a lightning bolt, which would make sense given the slow hand they kept. Yep. I'm not going to pyro the welder. I don't care about Snaring Bridge. I also don't have an artifact yet. I can potentially expert the welder next turn, which would be obviously much better for me. If I draw lands for the rest of the game, I think we're okay. Less okay. Maybe skip a construct and try to blow up my land. I think that's what they're doing. Yeah. Alright. They get an ensnaring bridge out of this, but it doesn't really matter. Let's pitch a Squelcher, even though the command costs 5 mana. Like, I don't think... Like... I don't want to pitch my Shatter. And Squelcher's mostly a Grizzly Bear. They give up a lot to do that. I think that misses out a construct. Oh my god, that's such a good exchange for me. Alright, if I can just draw a land, preferably Ancient Tomb. Let's go. Let's go. Alright, now what? I could get Taster here, take their last card. I kind of like that. I kind of like taking their last card. If I'm matroning for Boggart Trawler. So I can cast my Expert and get closer to Grub's Command. What's your last card? Alright. Okay. That's fine. Alright, so they have that. See what they get Grindstone. If I draw a land, oh, that makes sense. Okay, get some cards back. Yeah, okay, we're doing really well here. Yeah, let's get a. I could get Trashmaster. Try cover more bases, but I think there's a good chance they're gonna, have something next turn that I want to kill. And I think Ringleader plus kill your guy is probably pretty good, or copy Matron maybe. Fury would be scary here. Let's get Boggart Trawler. I'm gonna take a lot of damage, but that's fine. I'm gonna take 2 from this, maybe just 1. They might just crack this. Let's see what they get. All right, you get a land. If they unearth this, I think I'll block. Okay. 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 Now I kind of want my Boggart Trawler just as a spell. So I'd actually really love to draw. They don't attack. Bolt is good. Bolt is good. Do I give up on command for a turn so that I can play? I can bolt the welder, and then exile their graveyard. Getting rid of the Mishra's Research, because that's 2, right? Yeah. I think getting rid of some card advantage sounds good. Getting a 3-1 on the table. If we draw a land, we can command next turn. If we don't, we still have some plays. I can expert a painter next turn if it shows up. I do have to worry about. I want to shatter the grindstone quickly. I'm not in danger of dying next turn. They don't have enough mana. I'll block if they attack. Will I? That could lead me to dying to painter because I want 3 goblins in play. So if I don't draw land. Maybe I don't block. Okay, makes life easy for me. Hey. Let's do it. Alright, so let's do mill 5, draw the goblins, destroy the grindstone. Alright, nice little 3 for 1. Now I will attack. Next turn might be like Matron for grub. If I really want to just grind my opponent out. That seems a little excessive, but there's always a little bit of a risk of playing the game too long, and then you like die to them drawing 2 lightning bolts, and then you die to your own Ancient Tomb. So I might try to close this out sooner than later. But I think it's very cool that Grub can pick up Grub's command. So what do we? So we milled 3 lands, 2 goblins. So it's like below average, but it was still a 3-for-1. Would copying Matron have been better? Maybe. 1 specific card versus 0 to 5 random cards. I feel like Ringleader's on average going to be better. I mean, we drew another Matron, so it's kind of the same, just slightly slower. Opponent's contemplating their doom. I mean, the way they get out of this is like land Fury. And then I go... I mean, I can still beat land Fury pretty easily, I feel. That's... You know what? I've done their opponent. Oh, they draw Fury? I think they did. Okay. That was their best draw. If I draw a land, I'll just Matron Muxus. Why are you not attacking? I mean, yeah, that's kind of good enough, isn't it? It's basically a land. Some kids are yelling outside. Alright, Big Mux, where are you? I'll chump with Matron here. Okay. Once again, that's better. So we can do this. And 8. Gotta be a little careful. Bolt. Pay the 2. Let's expert that. Fury. I guess I'm not. Opponent's drawn 3 bolts, so I'm actually fine going to 6. Opponent's tilting off. Goblin okay. some grade A chat. Opponents tells it they're at least very funny about it. I'm not going to attack because I don't want them to. I mean, they haven't been attacking, but I don't want to go to 6. I don't want to block. Is this? Yeah, trust me, bro. I don't want to lose a things for Skirk. Is the short answer. All right, GG. It's really funny. All right, thanks everyone for watching. Another video soon, I swear to God. I think we're on a good horizon. Here. Grub's Command was pretty cool that game. Gotta say, yeah, it's expensive, but you know, in those grindy games, it does kind of put people in the dirt, and it's a pure shatter, unconditional removal that we don't normally have access to. Shatter, we can get Trashmaster, but destroy target creature, no ifs, ands, or buts, is not something we get very often. So putting that on a Goblin type card, regardless of its mana cost, is something I'm interested in. And then, you know, a Ringleader effect or Kiki-Jiki on top of that is exciting. And we got all these cool ETBs to copy. Like, this is like copying ETBs is kind of, I mean, not even just ETBs, right? Because the creature sticks around forever. So all of these are very potent to copy. All right. Last thing, I mean, I think pretty clear from how those games played out is, you know, aside from the one Doomsday game, I don't think we would have wanted to draw either vial like ever. And it wouldn't even have been that good on turn 1 in a couple of the matches as well. So things to keep in mind. So 4-2 today. Little sad to lose to Show and Tell, but I think I really genuinely believe that Show and Tell should be a great matchup for us now. So if we can be good against Show and Tell and Doomsday, weaker against the other combo decks, that's fine with me. Maybe the second Flute comes back in because it's really good against both of those, and you know, whatever. I'm going to stop talking. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time.